Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Crawfordsville High School tonight for the Athenian webcast of boys basketball on YouTube. It is a big early season test for both of these 1-0 teams. Crawfordsville coming off of an overtime win in Game 1 earlier this week. Benton Central on the road with a big win also over Frontier, bringing two different styles of basketball with them tonight to Crawfordsville High School here for a Saturday night after Thanksgiving. Welcome to our broadcast. I'm Jeff Nelson. Glad to have you along with us tonight. What should be an interesting style of basketball between two very different, contrasting teams. The Athenians will play, for the most part, regular, concentrated basketball, trying to stay under control. Will press, try and get the ball up and down the floor when they can, but stay in control to limiting turnovers. In their win at Frontier Tuesday night, Benton Central shot 37 three-point field goals. Shot 37. So we look for a wild one tonight from BC. They will bring the ball down and fire up from at will. So the Athenians will have to work defensively around the perimeter. Had a chat with Coach Tony Bean, Assistant Coach Bean, while we were checking out the starting lineups, and that was obviously, once they saw the stats, that was the defensive emphasis yesterday in practice for this Crawfordsville team. Again, both teams want to know coming into an early season test. Both these teams, over the course of years have had, quite a bit of success. Crawfordsville last year 9-14, and Benton Central last season had a pretty decent season, finishing all third in the Hoosier Conference. Last year they were 17-8 under the direction of Ben Lembeck. David Pierce is the Crawfordsville head coach. Starters tonight, the same for Crawfordsville, the same as we saw in the opening win against Greencastle. As you see, the Athenians control the toss. It's Drake Burris, Caden Patton, Ethan McLemore, Tyson Fuller, and Alec Sadian. The Athenians attack the man-to-man defense here as they work around the three-point ring. Sadian, who was a big trigger for the offense against Greencastle. They got the ball inside to him, and he kicked it out to Fuller. Fuller had 25 points out of 51 for Crawfordsville on Tuesday. Again, the Athenians patient. You'll see this. If the game is going as Crawfordsville wants it, this is how they want to work the game. They want to work the offense, and then you see a ball go between Sadian's fingertips, and the turnover by Crawfordsville will give the ball for the first time of the night to the green-clad Bison from Benton Central. Lots of common opponents. We'll get to that a little bit later in the broadcast. BC will play several of the Sagamore Conference teams, in addition to playing all of the Tippecanoe County schools, several of whom Crawfordsville will see during the course of the season. And there's no surprise, a three. And that three was by Sisson, and I think we had a starter error, but I think I gave Cody a wrong guy, as that was Hunter Sisson on the three-point shot to give BC the first lead of the ball game. Around the wheel they work. Crawfordsville, nice give and go, and the bucket is McLemore. So Crawfordsville 2 possessions, 1 score. BC 1 possession and a three-pointer. Just getting a good start here, getting a sweat worked up here at Crawfordsville High School. Glad to have everybody along on a Saturday night. Hope everybody survived the shopping sprees of Black Friday. Here's another three. Second three of the game for BC, and this is Hardebeck. And it's quickly 6-2. Again, Crawfordsville facing this man-to-man defense of BC. Patton there in the number 5. Swings it out on the left wing. Give and go. Sadian in the lane. Right-hand runner. A little bit off center and no good. The rebound pulled down by BC. That's Winchester. That name, if you were familiar with opponents from last year, Winchester is a transfer from Seeger. And there's another three. That is Sisson with his second three. And BC is 3 for 3 from the field, all 3 of them threes, and it's a 9-2 basketball game. 2 minutes plus gone here in this first quarter of play. The Athenians in their home whites. Open on the give and go, and the layup good for McLemore. He's got both Crawfordsville buckets. Trap at half court. Quick pass, man open, left-hand shot, no good. Return shot, jump ball. Whitmer missed, got his own rebound, and then he was tied up by Crawfordsville. Brummett will check in. Brummett had a great night off the bench against Frontier on Tuesday, scoring 13 points and grabbing 14 rebounds. So certainly not losing anything, and he's wide open on the pass up on top. Brummett has his first bucket of the ball game. Benton Central has hit 4 of their first 5, and they lead 11-4. Crawfordsville, again, staying patient, even trailing early. Burris starts it, kicks it left to McLemore. Step back 2 off the back of the iron, a little bit too hard, no good. Rebound pulled down by Sisson, who has made a big impact here with a couple of threes and a couple of rebounds. Foster, a ball handler and a role player, will not score much in the course of the night. That is working inside hard, but the shot too hard by Sisson caroms off the edge of the glass through the rim. Quickly down to the floor, shot up for Crawfordsville as they go in transition. That's a Patton 3, no good. And we'll trade ends again. 11-4 our score here halfway through the first quarter. Pretty cleanly played first 4 minutes. Open on transition, shot up, good. Whitmer gets the pass and the bucket, and 4 different guys have scored now for Benton Central. 3:40 to go in this first quarter, and the Bison up by 9 points, as you see on the scoreboard. Man open just on the baseline, Crawfordsville. That's Patton decides not to challenge his big defender. Crawfordsville, a couple guys giving away some serious height to their defensive guys. Here's a 3, top of the circle, backs off the glass. So Burris drops the 3, clanging it off the back of off the glass. 7 points for the Athenians. 5 minutes into quarter number 1, and now BC says, Crawfordsville, you're going to have to come out and play us. We don't want to see this 1-2-2 zone anymore. So they're working around the iron. 3, ball no good by Sisson. Rebound Crawfordsville. So the Bison come up empty on a rare trip. Crawfordsville looks to attack. And they'll bring it back out between the circles. Fuller, as we said, 25 the other night. He is drawing some serious defensive coverage. And a 3 for McLemore. So McLemore has 7. And the Athenians have 10, and they pulled it back to a one-score game. The Bison, again, will live outside the ring after 37 three-point attempts on Tuesday night in their 56-31 win over Frontier. Showing a little patience now themselves. Oh my goodness, there's an NBA 3 from about 6 feet beyond the rim. Ball loose as you see, scramble, whistle, jump ball, arrow. Looking the other direction, Crawfordsville will have the possession arrow on the alternating jump rule. Winchester's going to check back in for the Bison. Also back in from after a little breather is Dixon. So we've seen a couple guys off the Winchester. That's Winchester that came in off the Bison bench. The Athenians have yet to put a sub in. Under 2 minutes to play here, quarter number 1. Fuller, nice pass down on the blocks. And McLemore has been the guy to go to, and it's 13-12. McLemore has 9. Long 3, off the back iron, Hardebeck, no, rebound, Fuller, pass, and good. In transition, Burris takes the pass, and the Athenians have come back strong to take a 14-13 lead, and with that, Benton Central says enough's enough. We got beat in transition is one thing, get beat badly in transition is another thing, and they trail. They'll take a 30-second timeout with 1:22 to go. Remind everybody that you can always check in on Crawfordsville home basketball games, girls and boys. The girls took a took one on the chin earlier today. They lost 51-11 to, I believe it was Danville, and they still are looking for their first win of the season. The Athenians have got Sagamore Conference action coming up next Friday. They're idle now for a week. Next Friday night they travel to Lebanon for a girl-boy doubleheader as Sagamore Conference hoops get started. The next to last year of Sagamore Conference action, as the Sagamore Conference will either exist under a new look or may not exist at all. There are still discussions going on who will own the name Sagamore Conference. The teams that are leaving the Montgomery County Schools plus Western Boone and Frankfort would love to keep that name, but Tri-West Danville and Lebanon have the rights to it per the discussion from the breakup. BC has the basketball after the timeout, trailing now for the first time today. Little patience around the wheel. Ooh, looks at a three. Nope. Hardebeck, he's the offensive driver. Blonde moppy hair there. Couple dribbles, gets it back. Ball never goes far from him off the eye. There's a three-point shot, too short. Sisson with a really easy look, put back, and a bucket. So the ball came hard off the iron, and I checked that was Winchester 23, not Sisson. So Winchester gets his first bucket of the ball game. That ends a 10-0 Crawfordsville run, gives Benton Central the lead back with 42 seconds to go in the first quarter. That is the first foul of the ball game. It's whistled on 4. McLemore takes a seat for a second. McCarty checks in for the Athenians. That is Mason McCarty. Free throw, good for Winchester. And it's 16-14. We'll see if Crawfordsville elects to run the last 35 seconds off the clock. They don't. They'll lose the ball instead as Fuller drives into double coverage. In transition, here comes BC. Walks away from a three. They probably will look for, there's a ball tipped away from Winchester. He gets it back. Left-hand dribble around the ring. Long three, left corner, no good. Crawfordsville with a rebound. That was Brummett. And no, folks, that is no relation to Wabash coach Brummett. It's another family. Quickly to the end. Here's a shot from the free throw line. No good. That by McCarty, and that will end things here. An entertaining, well-played first quarter of play. Crawfordsville with a 10-0 run wipes out an 11-4 deficit. Led 14-13 for a moment. They trail 16-14 here at the end of a quarter of play. We mentioned that CHS beat Greencastle in the season opener on Tuesday night. It was 45-45 at the end of regulation when Greencastle got a bucket with about a second and a half to tie the game and send it into the extra 4 minutes. Crawfordsville had led just about the entire contest, but it got tied in. But then Crawfordsville scored all 6 points of the overtime period. Starting off with a free throw as Fuller ended up with a 3 of 4 effort from the line in the overtime. Burris had a bucket. Sadian had a free throw to notch those 6 points as the Athenians went from tied at 45 to winning their first game 51-45. So and talking also that last year, this is an experienced Crawfordsville team that returns. Burris last year averaged 8.3 points a game. Patton 5.5. McLemore 7.7. Fuller 5.5. McCarty 1.5. Sadian 8.5. Shrout, who has not been in the ballgame as of yet, averaged 1.8. So from last year, with Crawfordsville being an incredibly inexperienced team, this year they are an incredibly experienced team back. The Bison start the second quarter with possession of the ball and the lead. Here's a three, right corner, good. Widmer has his first 3 of the ball game, his second bucket to make it a 19-14 game. And I'll tell you, folks, with that 3-point shot and as many as they shoot when they go in, the scoreboard can change really, really fast. I mean, that's just a bucket, a free throw, and a 3, and all of a sudden from down 1 to up 5. There's a little floater, no good by McLemore. Rebound to one of the green shirts. 3 of them down there without anybody from Crawfordsville there for an offensive board. Couple of passes, long 3, left side, no good. Ball loose. Brummett corrals it, and that will reset the Bison offense. Leading here by 5, minute into this second quarter. Just what we kind of were thinking. BC's firing up threes at will. Crawfordsville trying to work the ball inside. Down to the paint, around the wheel, back on top, blocks, right side, shot no good. That by Sisson, he's missed a couple. He's missed all his short shots, and he's hit 2 threes for the big guy. So you figure that part out, folks. Down to the baseline, back on top. 3-pointer by McCarty. Now, McCarty for 3 is something that this broadcaster has said 100,000 times in his lifetime, but I think it's the first time for him, because I said it for his dad, who scored about 3 million points for Crawfordsville as an Athenian back a generation ago, and who is sitting, in fact, down to our right down here beneath us. So, nice looking shot, though. Be great for McCarty to be able to hit some of those. And responding with a 3 is Widmer. He's now got a total of 8 points with a couple of trays. 22-17 here with a couple minutes played in this second quarter. Been a really clean game. 1 foul called totally. Here's another 3, left wing. No good. So McCarty said, I'm hot. I'll try another one. That one doesn't fly. Down quickly to the other end of the floor. Go to Bison. Again, Crawfordsville, 2-1-2 zone defense now, trying to sink in a little bit on Winchester. They've kept the ball away from him for the most part, but he does have 5 points. Just about everybody on this Bison team's got a 3. And as I say that, now Winchester gets wide open and heads to the line. So now he's got 7. 24-17. We got a whistle and we got a timeout asked for this time by Crawfordsville's head coach David Pierce. We'll check and see. It's going to be a full. That comes with 5:14 to go here. I want to remind everybody, too, that, we thank you for watching tonight on YouTube, and, tell some friends wherever you might be around this great country, around the area, that you can pick up just about every home Crawfordsville boys basketball game. You can get about every home girls basketball game as well. I know we've done a ton of baseball games in the springtime. We did football in the fall. Are there any other? I think those are the major sports. I don't think there are any others. We don't see much wrestling. Don't see much swimming. It's tough to put that on YouTube. But we thank everybody and hope everybody that is watching and listening the sound of my voice tonight. We certainly hope that you had a very happy Thanksgiving. Hope you've had a great start to your holiday season. I hope that you are able and willing to travel safely and enjoy your families and be thankful for many, many things that we have all been blessed with here in our lives. So after the Crawfordsville timeout, we will get back to action with the Athenians, who led only one time. They led 14-13 late in the first quarter, and a flurry of Bison threes has given them the lead back 24-17. So as we mentioned, this Bison team not afraid to light it up from way outside that three-point ring, and they've got 1, 2, 3. They got 4 different guys who have already got at least one made three-pointer. Crawfordsville back in action here. BC will pick them up at half court. They have played pretty much man-to-man defensively the entire game. Crawfordsville working off some screens. Here's Sadian, reverse hand, and tries to go to the opposite side of the rim and just didn't have enough room to work, and the ball shot hits, as you saw, the bottom of the backboard, maybe the bottom of the iron. Bison basketball, long swing pass, back on top. Here comes a 3. It's no good. And a box out, and the littlest guy on the floor. That is Shroud, who was in the ball game for the first time. Quick fire down to the right side. Patton, first bucket, good. Huge basket for Crawfordsville. Huge bucket coming at the 4:30 mark to give Crawfordsville to cut the deficit down to 4 and stop that little mini run by Benton Central. Coach the hat, and near steal, loose ball. It is a steal, and this is Shroud. So a great job by Shroud, who has just come up big here in his role as a sub. The 5'8" senior, limited minutes, foul, This will be on BC. That is Winchester, and that's the first foul of the ball game on BC. We've had one foul on each team, and we've played 12 minutes. So I'll give credit where credit is due. We get a stoppage of play. Our three officials, well seasoned, tons of postseason experience, great guys. Two of them long time friends working this game tonight. Our athletic director Bryce Martin said, "That's my A crew." It was a missed shot, no good. Follow up by Fuller. Fuller missed the three. Knew his shot was going to come off the irons. A little crazy. He knew right where to go. He got the ball back and is fouled with the putback, and that will send Fuller. Yep, that'll send Fuller to the free throw line for Crawfordsville's first free throws of the ball game. The foul is on Sisson. Nobody in any kind of problems with any of these fouls. Fuller's free throw is good. That's his first point of the ball game. Fuller, as we said, 25 points on an 8 of 10 shooting night, and pulled down 6 rebounds to go with it. Had 3 of 4 night from the free throw line in the overtime period. Fuller's second free throw is also good. 22 now for the Athenians. 24 for the Bison. Here is Hardebeck, drives the lane, shot off there, no good. Rebound Crawfordsville. McLemore leads it right to the rim. Hard contact, bucket, good. McLemore is in double figures. He's got 11, and we are tied at 24. Backcourt pressure. Crawfordsville going to the run and jump defense. They're trying to trap at half court. Hardebeck able to break it. Pass, right corner, 3. Just like that. Winchester's in double figures. Approaching the 3-minute mark. So Winchester's hit a couple of trays of his own. As we said, 4 different guys have hit threes. 5 guys have taken threes. This team is not afraid to fire them up. Here's Crawfordsville with a 3. That no good. That's by Patton. Rebound BC. And they will trot the ball up to the other end of the floor. Crawfordsville has extended the zone defense out just a little bit to try and get a hand in the faces of the three-point shooters. Here's Winchester, long 3. Bounces up over the top of the rim and the backboard. And that's out of play. 2:38 to play here in the first half. Crawfordsville down with the basketball. Game 2 of the season for both of these teams. Both teams 1-0. This historically a Saturday night after Thanksgiving game. I remember many years where Crawfordsville has either gone to BC. They just rotate. Last year they were up there. This year they're back here. But this has been a long-standing opponent for both of these teams early on in the season. It's certainly a good test for both of these squads. Looking inside, foul. We're going to have some contact. Fuller tries to get open. He was grabbed by Winchester, and I think Winchester's going to pick up foul number 2. And he does, and that is the third foul. Yep, that's the third foul of the quarter on BC, and a reminder that this year is a new year, a new look for rules, that we don't go to 7 and shoot 1-and-1 free throws. We go by quarters now. To have the 5th foul, you shoot 2. So there are no more 1-and-1s. There's an and 1. Here's a whistle and travel. Shrout tried to quickly square up and fire off a shot, but drug the pivot foot. Crawfordsville with the turnover. We've been rare on turnovers, and we've been rare on fouls. And from a broadcaster standpoint, that is just fine. BC, with under 2 minutes to play, extends the offense. Although for them extending it means you extend it just about into out of bounds territory. Quick pass to the right, no good. Hardebeck drops in the lane, man open. Here's left-hand shot, good. Good give and go, and Dixon has his first points of the night. Long pass. Dixon becomes the 6th different Bison to get on the scoreboard. Crawfordsville has got 5 different guys as they extend the lead back to 5 points. Burris, left-hander, he'll shoot 2. The and 1 was almost there as Burris got into the lane and just rolled the ball a little hard off the back edge of the rim. Wouldn't grab a bite on the iron and come down. The foul is on Hardebeck. That will be his first. Fourth team foul of this quarter on BC. The Athenians have yet to commit a foul in this second quarter and have committed only one for the entire game. Burr's free throw is good. He's now got a 3, a 2, and a 1 for 6 points. That ends a little bit of a drought. The Athenians hadn't scored in about 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Burris, the left-hander, is good. He was 4 for 4 from the line in the fourth quarter on Tuesday night against Greencastle. Missed a couple of tough ones in the overtime period, but had a big bucket also in the second half, had a 3 and a bucket in the overtime period. It helps key that 51-45 win. Here's a long 3, too hard. Rebound for the Bison. Hardebeck, give and go. Tried to give and gave it away. Crawfordsville, now Hardebeck comes up with a steal. Near steal, ball loose as you see the scramble. Whistle, and we've got a foul. Nope. Oh, we got an over and back call. Yeah, he was. There was. So once, and this is one of our referees, Darren Haas, you can see that on your screen, as he gave the indication, he recognized that in the loose ball that Sisson had gone into the back court with control of the ball, and so he called the turnover. So it gives the ball back to the Athenians. Yep, down by 3, under by half a minute to go here in this second quarter. Fuller looks for a cutter, finds Sadian. Sadian has yet to score. He's only taken one shot, if I recall. Here's McCarty, who does have a 3. Looking for an inside man. Crawfordsville, 10 seconds. Clock running down. Who will get the last shot? McCarty, right side. Burris, Sadian. Ooh, long 3. They settled for one there. And that'll bounce off the iron. So the Athenians run 35 seconds off the clock. McLemore's 3 was a little too hard. Comes off the glass hard and bounces away. And that'll get us to halftime. A halftime score with Crawfordsville showing Crawfordsville trailing Benton Central by a score of 26-29. It was 2 points in the front for BC at the end of first quarter, 16-14, and they lead by 3 here at intermission. Crawfordsville did have a 1-point lead late in the second quarter after a 10-0 run, 14-13, but otherwise BC has pretty much led the entire ballgame. We're going to get a stat sheet brought up to us courtesy of the Benton Central Stats crew, so we certainly appreciate that. And we also could take a minute to let everybody know that the Crawfordsville JV lost tonight, 51-22. Leading scorer for the Athenians was Nolan Watt with 7 points. 4 points were scored by Sam Manette. 4 points also scored by Rowan Gambrell. 3 points for Cohen McClamrock, and also for Ethan Campbell. 1 point scored by Jason Wireman. Again, it was 51-22 as the Crawfordville JV moves to 1-1. They defeated Greencastle earlier. Actually, they beat them Monday night because Tuesday was a girl-boy doubleheader as the Crawfordsville girls lost to Greencastle and again lost earlier today. So they are still looking for their first win on the season. 0-9, I believe, now for Crawfordsville. And here comes the young man, a very, very happy Boilermaker fan after his Boilermakers won the Old Oak and Bucket game against Indiana. Great football game this afternoon. Don't know if anybody had a chance, trailing by 10 points at the end of the third quarter. The Boilermakers came back and won the ball game by, with a late score and ended up winning it. So they take there's one more P in the long chain for the Old Oak and Bucket as two, I'll call them, disappointing seasons, certainly for both Purdue and Indiana fans. I don't think they would disagree that it has been a difficult year football-wise for both teams. Both teams were certainly looking for something a whole lot more than what they got. Let's look at our halftime stats. Again, it's 29-26 BC, Benton Central with the lead over Crawfordsville. As for Benton Central, they were 11-24 from the field, which is rounds up to 46%. They were 6 of 15 shooting threes, so they shot 15 threes and 9 twos. on the game, and they were only 1 of 1 from the line. So shooting the ball very decently at a 45%, 46% clip overall. Crawfordsville was 9 of 19 from the field, 47%, 4 of 9 from long range, 4 of 4 from the line. So certainly a good omen for the Athenians after the first half with 100% shooting from the line. Total rebounds are in favor of Benton Central, 13 to 10. As leading the way is Chase Brummett and Michael Winchester. They've each got 3 for Benton Central. Leading up for Crawfordsville, we've got Ethan McLemore with 3, including 1 offensive rebound and 2 rebounds for Mason McCarty. And I know that McCarty had a couple of deep off of a couple of long threes, pulled down a couple of defensive rebounds there. The Athenians, 5 assists on those 9 buckets. Benton Central, 10 assists on 11 made field goals. So a great job of handling the ball, dishing it out for the Bison in the course of the first half. Very good game for both teams as far as taking care of the ball. 3 turnovers for Benton Central, 4 turnovers for the Athenians. So paints point, big number 2 is not a surprise at all. Benton Central has only a couple of buckets in the paint with all the threes that they shoot. The Athenians have 21 points in the paint. Not sure how that works out, since points in the paint generally are buckets made by 2. Maybe they count a free throw there. So, but a big advantage for Crawfordsville in the points in the paint. So again, it's 29 to 26. BC has led throughout most of the game. Their largest lead was, however, was a 9-point lead, 13 to 4, before Crawfordsville went on a 10-0 run to take their only lead of the ball game. We've had 2 lead changes, and only the score has been tied just that one time. Crawfordsville's 10-0 run, the biggest of the ball game. So again, we certainly appreciate everybody being here with us as this first half gets done very quickly. One thing it didn't run down the scoring. Just to remind everybody that the leading scorer for Benton Central was Joe Widmer with 8 points. Also, Michael Winchester tonight had 8 points in this contest, and then a couple other guys with 3, a couple other guys with 2. 11 points for Ethan McLemore led the way. He had 9 of those 11 points in the first quarter. 7 points today for Drake Burris. So Tyson Fuller, who had 25 on Tuesday night against Greencastle, has been blanketed defensively as he finishes only with 1 shot taken in the first half. He did not make it. He did make a couple of free throws for his 2 points. Again, 29 to 26. These teams are back in action coming up. Let's see. I know I wrote them down here. All I got to do is find the right set of paperwork. As Benton Central, no, that's right. Yeah. Looking at they defeated Frontier, as we mentioned, on Tuesday night. Tonight, they are here at Crawfordsville. Next week, on the 28th, they will be home to West Lafayette. On December 16th, they will be entertaining Tri-West. On January 6th, they will be playing Lebanon at home. And on the 19th of January, they'll be playing Frankfurt. So some very familiar names, especially a couple of 3 Sagamore Conference opponents. Last year, Benton Central 17-8. They were 3-1, finishing second in the West Division of the Hoosier Conference. They did defeat Crawfordsville last year by 20. It was a 66-46 ball game. Crawfordsville, as we mentioned, back in action in a week. They will travel to Lebanon for a girl-boy doubleheader as they get going in Sagamore Conference action. The boys do. The girls have already played a game. They lost to Danville today by a pretty wide margin. We just won't get into that. So, again, here you see down on the floor some hoop shoot going on. Just some guys, a couple of gals out looking for a bucket, a little bit of practice, having a good time here at halftime of this holiday weekend. Light crowd tonight because I know that there was a big holiday parade, and I know they lit a Christmas tree somewhere in downtown Crawfordsville. I don't know if it was I know there are several of them out, so certainly it's been a festive weekend. Black Friday yesterday, and big day. Hope everybody had a very happy and wonderful Thanksgiving weekend, and as the Christmas holidays now are the next thing on the agenda. Only a month or so. Actually, it's a month from today. I know that there's no chance he's listening, but I want to wish my brother a happy birthday. He up in Minnesota. I had a chance to chat with him this afternoon. He had been also watching the Ohio State-Michigan game, as a whole lot of us were doing. Very exciting ball game. A big win for Michigan. They win the East Division, and they will play Iowa next week in the Big Ten championship game. And of course, if you follow the college football playoffs, that whole thing is now going to really cause some hand-wringing and a lot of stomach ulcers over the next week or so. Because some conference championship games could easily turn the tides of fortune for some teams. I just saw a note that Alabama got a late touchdown a literal late touchdown to beat Auburn in the Iron Bowl. A loss for Alabama would have crushed them with a chance of getting into the playoffs. Now they stay alive, and if they can beat Georgia in the SEC championship game, that puts them, in a possible position for a playoff game as well. So anyway, there's a lot to follow, and I know everybody's got a hand phone, a computer, access to social media, and following all that sort of stuff along. In case you didn't see it, a shout out to Southmont football. The last thing, they got a nice shout out from the broadcast crew over at the Dome today. North Posey really got thumped by Fort Wayne Lures in the 2A football championship game, but the announcers were very kind to Southmont for a great end of season that they had, losing record coming into the playoffs and making it all the way to the semi-state game where they lost, to North Posey. So it's lots and lots of area sports here, and I know that fans watching on YouTube will get a chance to see one or both of the Mounties basketball teams when they take on Crawfordsville later on in the season. And also probably get a chance to see a Chargers game or two when they take on Crawfordsville. And nothing else, we can always wait for baseball, and there are lots of that coming up as well. So again, this is Jeff Nelson. I'm glad to have you along as we get very close to the start of the second half, with Crawfordsville trailing Benton Central in this holiday special, 29-26. Coach Bean is now sending a runner down to the Benton Central locker room to say, guys, you might want to come back as we're getting close to start time. The clock running down with only 15 seconds before. So the Bison will get no time to warm up here unless see Coach, the referee Darren Haas is no. I thought maybe he was going to ask about putting a minute on the clock for BC, but you know what? Hey, you show up late, you get no warm-up time. So that's exactly what happens, and the Bison will walk out ready to play. So they knew what they were doing, and they will fall back defensively here with that 3-point lead. Hear the band over to our left, and here we go. Crawfordsville has McLemore with the hot hand. Ooh, man, the stadium was open. Didn't realize how open he was. He tried a big sweeping hook shot that didn't fall. Benton Central with the rebound. We'll see if they come down firing threes right away. That was their mantra in the first half. They'll work inside at least the first time down the floor. Back, forth, give, go, wide open. Oh, and the shot was missed. Winchester misses Winchester misses the bunny down there. And Crawfordsville can tie it with a 3 or cut into the 3-point deficit. McLemore, left side, 3-pointer, burst, no good, ball. I don't know if they're going to say that Winchester actually touched it. Winchester kind of let it go, thinking it was going to be their ball, but somebody got a hand on it, and Crawfordsville will get a second chance. Out on top, burst for 3, in and out, no good. Rebound Winchester. Here comes BC. 2 quick dribbles, give and go, back inside. Winchester doesn't miss this time. Missed a bunny last trip down, doesn't this time. He's got a dozen, and it's 31-26. Minute into quarter number 3. McLemore. Dribble, high left wing, give and go, man open. Here's Burr, shot up. Check that, Patton. Good. Patton's got a couple of buckets. He's got a 3 and a 2. 31-28. Near steal there by McLemore. Again, way a full 6 feet outside the three-point ring works this Benton Central offense. But they're not afraid to fire it up from anywhere across the 10-second line. Hardeback looks at one. Here's a near steal. Nope. Patton couldn't control it. Hardeback is going to shoot. Hardeback a little bit out of control. We got down into the land of the Giants. He was looking for one of his Giants, and that just ended up turning into a little chaos and a foul by Crawfordsville. And that's going to be McLemore. McLemore's first foul. Crawfordsville had one foul in the first half, and now one so far in the second half. At the line, Hardeback, and he misses. Hardeback has a 3 to his credit. He's a 5'9" senior who absolutely runs the offense for this team. Second free throw is good. And it's a 4-point margin. McLemore and Fuller up on the wing. Cut off to the lane. Sadian backs into trouble with Sisson. He's a monster. Sisson's a big dude down there. Sadian couldn't move him. So back out between the jump circles. Crawfordsville will patiently put the offense into motion. There's a free throw line jump shot. McLemore no good. Ball loose. Sadian has it. Sadian put back and one. Great individual effort by Alex Sadian. It's his first bucket of the ball game. The bucket's down to make it 32-30. Here with 5:36 to go. The foul is on Hardeback. He got a hack on Sadian, and Sadian will head to the line for a three-point opportunity. And grabs a lot of iron and falls away. First missed free throw of the game for Crawfordsville, 4 for 5 now. Foster will bring the ball into the attack zone to Hardeback. The small guards work on top. Into some traffic, back on the wing. Here's Widmer, 4-3, no. Rebound Fuller. He looks downfield, can't find a cutter, or at least he wasn't open enough to try a long pass. Crawfordsville had several of those that they threw away on Tuesday night against Greencastle. And driving to the lane is Burris, and Burris is going to shoot two as he's fouled in the act. This will be Widmer. Widmer has his first foul. So we've had more fouls called in the first couple of minutes of the third quarter than we had in the entire first half. Burris will shoot two. This one's a little short. So the Athenians have now missed 2 free throws in a row, trailing by 2, 3 minutes into the second quarter. Second free throw for the lefty. He adjusts. He's got a really nice shooting form. He really does. And he's cool as the bottom of the pillow. You know, he not afraid of going in and mixing it up and going in trying to get something done. And they're getting something done to Sadian with a steal on the baseline, tippy-toeing like a ballet dancer there, keeping the ball in play. Crawfordsville will try and turn a rare BC turnover into some points. We only had 7 total turnovers in the first half. I think that's our first one of the second. Crawfordsville out here, long way away from the rim. Patton kicks it right side, 3-point shot, a little short, no good. Winchester rebound. Here come the guys in green. They don't fire the three. Now, Sisson, I thought he was going to pull the trigger on a deep three. He's made a couple. He's made a couple of long threes. He's the big defender on Sadian. Made 2 threes and has not made it 2. He's 0 for a couple inside the paint. Looking like a globetrotter there is Foster, weaving in and out of a lot of traffic. Lob pass, Winchester to the rim. He knows what to do with it. That's 14 points for Michael Winchester. The transplant from Seeger, averaged 15 points a game last year for the Patriots. And as I was told by folks that he was a voluntary move-in, down on the blocks, Burris gets open, and Burris is in double figures. He's got 10. 34, 33, 3:33 to go. A lot of threes on the scoreboard there for a split second. Here's Sisson, bangs on Sadian, no shot, back on top. Around the wheel, works the green guys. Here's a 3. That's no big deal. That's a routine thing. Widmer hits his second 3 of the night. He's got 11, and it's 37-33. Those threes pile up in a hurry. They make the scoreboard ring. Crawfordsville has hit a couple of them, staying close by working just like that, and this will be a jump ball. Burris tried to get down and release the ball and had the ball push right back into his hand. A really nice defensive effort by Hardebeck. You got to give credit where credit is due. He put the ball right back on Burris's hand, so he couldn't get it released, so there was going to be no foul called, and because of that, then they had to call the jump ball because he left his feet, and the possession arrow gives the ball back to Benton Central. So technically, it's a turnover because the ball never left Burris's hand. For all you guys keeping stats at home. There's a bad pass. Winchester's not that tall. Patton, quick left side, three-point on transition. Good! McLemore, first field goal of the second half, 14 for the ball game. McLemore has the hot hand. 37-36. McLemore last season averaged 7.7 points a ball game. He's doubled up on that tonight. In the lane, kicks it away. That's a throwaway. Foster got down and kind of did a whirly gig down there and tossed the ball to the fans sitting in the front row of the seats. And with that, Benton Central coach Ben Lambeck says, I don't know if I like exactly what's happened right here. So he has called a 30-second timeout. 1:59 to go here in this third quarter of play. BC has called 2 timeouts. Crawfordsville has called 1. We've got tons of free throw or field timeouts left. We've got tons of fouls to give. Nobody has any kind of foul trouble as 2 players for BC have 2, and nobody for Crawfordsville has even got 2. In fact, there's only been 2 fouls called on Crawfordsville this entire contest. So again, a big thanks to everybody watching tonight on YouTube. We want to invite you to join us as often as possible. All you got to do is you can go to Crawfordsville Athletics and check out the various games. Next Friday night's game against Lebanon will not be webcast because road games are not done. But the technology and the rights fees and all the things that go along with it just don't make all of that sort of thing possible as of yet. You can certainly follow on some social media platform to see how the Athenians are doing. We're back to action. Crawfordsville with the ball, looking to take a rare lead after the turnover. Here's a 3. Patton, too hard. And rebound. Here's Winchester firing down the other end of the floor. He just leads the break all by himself, and he will be fouled. A couple guys from both teams go over to help the guy get up. As we said, Winchester certainly a good athlete leading that break. He's going to shoot a couple of free throws. He was Seeger's leading scorer last year, and as we said, he was a voluntary. He, I believe he emancipated himself. I believe that's how the wording goes, and has enrolled at Benton Central. The left-hander's free throw is good. He's got 15 on the game, and it's a 2-point margin for the Bison. Second free throw coming up. Kind of a mop here, kind of long, a little longer in the front. Typical for guys. I'm just jealous since I can't grow it. 16 for Winchester. 3-point lead for the Bison. Crawfordsville basketball. Sisson comes out to guard McCarty. McCarty tries to get it down to Sadie, and he recognized the mismatch. He recognized that Sisson, who has been playing heavy body duty on Sadie and has really kept him from getting very many shots, was on the wrong guy, and he looked for Sadie, and ball down for the big guy was tipped out of bounds. Crawford's the ball. There's a man open on the give and go. And guess who? It's McLemore. 16 for McLemore. We're back to within 1. So McLemore taking the role of the big scorer. McLemore. Yep. Had a handful of points. He only had 1 bucket and 2 points and 7 rebounds on Tuesday night against Greencastle. So certainly moving his offensive game into another gear tonight. Under a minute to play. Benton Central. Sisson. Kind of like Rick Smits playing a long way away from the basket as the big center. Drop pass. Winchester couldn't handle, but it's tipped right back to him. Hardback. Here's a three. Sisson's got it. He is 3 for 3 shooting threes. He's got 9 points, and it's 42-38 with 28 seconds to go. So they certainly know what they're doing with that big guy, as he's fired in 3 3-point shots. 2 in the first quarter and 1 now here in the third. Crawfordsville running the clock down, looking for one last shot. McCarty, left wing, Fuller, shot no good, ball loose, tipped. It's going to be last touch by Sisson, and Crawfordsville will get a second chance opportunity with 2.9 seconds to go. So that shot there was not the best shot in the world by Fuller. You may have seen the angle from the camera angle we have up here. But Crawfordsville can cut into the deficit. Here's McCarty, fires up a shot, no good. Maybe should have taken the first shot instead of going for the fake and taking the second. So Crawfordsville trails again. They trailed by 2 at the end of the first quarter. They trailed by 3 at the end of the second quarter, and now they trail by 4 at the end of the third quarter. It's 38-42. So we head to the fourth quarter here at Crawfordsville High School. Again, as we said, a light crowd tonight. They get the referees paid for, but that's, a lot of other things going on in the city. And a lot of fans were here earlier today for the girls' game as well. Tree lighting ceremony. I think there was a parade or something downtown Crawfordsville, so I know there were some performers that were down there that were part of the holiday experience. So we certainly wish everybody a wonderful holiday season. Hope everybody had a very happy and well-fed Thanksgiving. I had a fun Thanksgiving. Got to do an NFL game up in Detroit. Got my ugly mug on national television. So I worked with my crew, and it was certainly a lot of fun. Got a lot of text messages about that. We're getting ready to start the fourth quarter here. Crawfordsville trailing here by 4 points, 42-38. Glad to have everybody along this evening on YouTube, wherever you may be. This is Jeff Nelson, here with all of our technical crew. And the Athenians will have it on the alternating possession rule. Fuller, McLemore, Burris. From left to right they work. Burris into the lane. Out of control shot, no good, no call. Rebound Foster. Here comes Benton Central. And a reach-in foul as Winchester was looking to go inside, couldn't. And the foul's going to be on Fuller. That will be his second foul, only the first team foul of this fourth quarter. Crawfordsville has 3 fouls. They had one foul in the first, no fouls called in the second, 1 in the third, and now 1 foul call here in the fourth. Has made for a very quickly played game. Here's Sisson. From 4 different spots around the ring, Sisson has hit 4 trays. He's got a dozen, and it's 45-38. Here's a 3. That's Burris. His first 3. Check that second 3 of the day. He's got 13. 45-41. Minute in to quarter 4. Go into the paint. Winchester says no. He'll give it off to a 3-point shooter instead. Around the rim, touches every square millimeter of that iron. Stadium comes up with a bucket. Here's a long 3, left side, no good. Crawfordsville in transition rather than making a pass. Fired up a quick 3, didn't fall. Crawfordsville back on defense. Here's a 3. Winchester tipped around, no good. And this will be Sisson going to the line as Sadian gives the foul. He didn't give the foul quite hard enough, though, as Sisson was very nearly going to the line for an and 1. Sadian picks up his first foul, stops the clock, but going to the line for his first free throws of the ball game is Sisson. He has 4 3-pointers from about 4 different spots outside the ring. Second leading scorer for the Bison with 12 now with 13 as he makes the free throw. 46-41, 6:30 to go here. Patton out, McCarty in for Crawfordsville. They're just checking to see if Sadian maybe had a scratch or a little blood on his uniform. He has passed inspection. Our refereeing crew, Darren Haas, Aaron Selby, and Nate Robinson. Second free throw is good. Sisson's got 14. Second leading scorer behind the 16 of Winchester. So the two big guys have done all the damage for Benton Central, but crazy enough, Sisson's damage has all been from the outside, where Winchester's has been mostly from the inside. Now here is McLemore fouled as he turns the corner on a pick, but I don't think they're going to, in the NBA they give him 2, but I don't think they're going to give him that here. Foul is going to be whistled against Brummett. That's his first. As we said earlier, there's nobody in any foul trouble here tonight. Crawfordsville basketball. McLemore triggers it. Back on top, McCarty. Well, we got a lot of left-handers playing tonight. A lot on both teams. McCarty has his pocket picked at midcourt. This will be Winchester, layup, good. Winchester's got 18, and boy, you just cannot give away. There's another turnover. You just cannot give the ball away for those transition points. A couple of turnovers for Crawfordsville. Now here's Winchester open, layup, good. Winchester hits 20. Crawfordsville finds themselves behind by 10 now, and David Pierce says, I got to call a timeout. So they'll call a 60, second timeout call by Crawfordsville, and boy, just like that, two really quick turnovers turn into possessions and turn into points off the possessions, and a 5-point game has turned into a 10-point game just like that. As we said, BC on the season will see a lot of common opponents through the course of the year. They're 1-0 on the year. They were 17-8 last year. They defeated Frontier on Tuesday night, 56-31. Again, they had just their regular cast of characters that are playing well tonight. That was Chase Brummett came off the bench for the double-double, 13 points and 14 rebounds. Joe Widmer had 13 points. And let's see, looking at some of the other guys, Winchester had 9, Sisson had 5. So Winchester and Sisson really responding tonight after pedestrian sorts of games on Tuesday, combining for 34 of Benton Central's 51 here tonight. So the Athenians have been relatively turnover free on the game, but 2 turnovers in a row have turned into 5 quick points, and they are now down by their biggest margin of the game. They were down 14. They were down 13-4 in the first quarter, and then put a 10-0 run on to take a 1-point lead. So Crawford's going to have to come up with a 10-0 run or something similar to that here in this last stretch of this game. Here's a shot by Patton, no good. Rebound Sadian. Crawfordsville reloads the offense. BC has just made it so hard to get inside the lane. Sadian has got 1 field goal on the game and only a couple of shots. Here's a 3. That's no good. That's by Burris. Rebound to Sisson, the big guy. So BC has just the guys in green have owned the spots in blue down there. Near steal. Out of bounds. Oh, great save by Winchester with a behind-the-back pass. In the lane, shot up, no good. Wow, that was nearly a circus act by Foster. And Foster's shot falls away. Crawfordsville has the basketball. And they'll slow down the offense. Down by 10, but the clock continuing to run. Feel like the Ohio State announcer that I was listening to for a while this afternoon. They needed the ball back, and Michigan ran about 11 plays and about 6 minutes off the clock. There's a turnaround, tough shot by McLemore. Makes it fall. McLemore has 18. 51-43. We're nearing the middle point of quarter 4. Both teams looking for win number 2 on the season. Both teams looking to avoid their first loss. There's a 3, no good. That 3 by Widmer. He's hit a couple of them. Quickly down the floor, Crawfordsville sets the offense. Swing pass to the left side. Again, everybody has worked and lived outside the 3-point ring as Crawfordsville has not been able to get inside for the most part tonight, and Benton Central has chosen to live by the 3. Here's a 3. That's no good. By McLemore. Loose ball. Jump. Tied up. Burris and Hardeback. And the arrow points green. And that will bring Brummett back in. Chase Brummett, who had a first half bucket. First quarter bucket, if you want to be more specific. Whistle. And while everything's getting resorted, we're going to have a timeout. Full timeout. Not sure who called the timeout. So anyway, it's timeout on the floor. 3:38 to go. It's an 8-point margin. It's a chance to remind everybody that there's lots of basketball action coming up. Okay, so that was a Crawfordsville timeout. The Athenians are idle now. The boys team is idle until next Friday when they will take on Lebanon in the first game of the Sagamore Conference season. That game at Lebanon, the second game of a girl-boy doubleheader. Benton Central, as we noted, has got a bunch of common opponents coming up here through the course of the year, playing several of the Sagamore Conference teams. They have got a game next week against West, of course not Sagamore Conference, but next week they play West Lafayette. Then December 16th they play Tri-West. It's January 6th they play Lebanon. January 19th they play Frankfurt. So lots and lots of familiar faces for this BC team. And of course, a lot of Tippecanoe County schools, several of whom Crawfordsville will play. They play West Side. I think lots of familiar teams, lots of familiar faces, common opponents by the time this season is all said and done. So after the Crawfordsville timeout, long throw, handled, and a shot up. Oh, no good. Foster is going to wish he had that back, and he will not be happy with what Coach says in the tape study room. Here's a three-point quick shot, that by Crawfordsville. That's no good. It's by Fuller. Fuller still looking for his first field goal of the game. And on the rebound, we've got a Crawfordsville foul. Foul is called on Burris. That's his second. But BC will own the basketball. Here's Sisson. He'll just dribble the ball across the timeline himself after Crawfordsville tries to squeeze off the guards, which they did. McLemore looking for a steal, can't get it. Hardeback. Quick off shoot to the right. Near steal. Now there is a steal. Good quick hands by Fuller. Sadine comes up with the ball. Crawfordsville down by 8. 3 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. And we got a reach-in foul. Sisson will pick up foul number 2. And BC coach Ben Lambeck is just going to probably look back at his assistant coaches and go, why did he do that? Stops the clock, which they do not want to do. It's a foul, which gets Crawfordsville one closer to a bonus situation, which they don't want to have happen. But it does give them a chance to bring Winchester back in the ballgame, and Winchester's got 20 points, so maybe the net is good. Athenian basketball, needing some points. And the clock running down incredibly fast. Burris, right wing, McLemore, 18 points, leads Crawfordsville scoring. Ball gets loose, whistle, what do we got? Did we get a timeout call before he lost possession? I believe he did. So Crawfordsville's going to have to waste a timeout. And they do. And they comes with 2:32 to go. So Fuller was down in the corner and was losing control of the ball, and in the scrum trying to keep a jump ball from happening. Coach David Pierce calls his next to last timeout. One timeout remaining. Benton Central's got a couple left. 2:32 to go. BC has led just about the entire game. In fact, the only Crawfordsville lead came after a 10-0 run in the first quarter to make it 14-13. The biggest lead for BC was 10 a little while ago at 51-41. And we've been sitting on this 8-point margin for a couple of minutes. So you can see both teams getting some instructions. Crawfordsville's going to have to come up with something offensively, because without a shot clock, there will be no reason for BC to have to do anything more than get the ball across the timeline. And here come the guys in white. Patton has it. He'll be triggering it in from underneath his own bucket. Crawfordsville with a couple of cutters. There's a man open. Burris throws double teamed inside. Whistle, foul on the floor. McLemore couldn't get to the rim. Was trying to dish the ball back out to an open man on the wing, and instead it's going to be Sisson with a grab, and that's Sisson's third, 13th foul of the quarter. Crawfordsville with basketball. Inbounds to the lane, shot up. That's no good by McLemore. Ball off the side of the iron. The green shirts have the basketball with a lead, and time running out. Here's Hardebeck. Hardebeck says, I'll just dribble it back out between the jump circles. Near pick and a push. McLemore will pick up his second foul. That will be foul number 4 for the Athenians in this quarter. So the next common foul by Crawfordsville will send BC to the stripe for 2. Crawfordsville sub coming in. That's Shrout. He'll give Patton a little breather. I'm guessing Patton will not be on the bench very long. BC triggers it in. As we kick 2-1 right now, 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter. Here's Winchester to the lane. He'll shoot. Got into a lot of traffic, forced up a shot, but got fouled in the process anyway. It's going to be McLemore's third foul, and it'll send Winchester to the line. Not very many free throws tonight for either team, but Winchester has hit his couple. Now hits another one, and he has 21. As we said, not the biggest night of the world for him. On Tuesday, he had 9 points, 3 rebounds, a couple of assists in the big win over opening season win over Frontier. He makes the second free throw to give him 22. 53-43. And BC can starting to warm up the fat lady for the song after the game. Crawfordsville just cannot quickly get a bucket. It's been really hard to get inside, settle for an outside three that are not falling. Rebound kicked around, grabbed by Sisson. 1:29 to go. Coach Pierce, arms crossed over on the far sideline, knowing that they gave it the best shot. Here's a near steal. Ball touched, long throw, other end of the floor, travel. Winchester knew he only had one guy to beat to get to the rim, and in the process, changed the pivot foot, drug that pivot foot, and that's a rare Benton Central turnover. There, if we get time, and we may get a quick stat sheet here at the end of the game, but I'll bet BC does not have 10 turnovers. Here's a three, no good by McLemore. And the Bison, with under a minute to go, can just comfortably run some clock if they wish, and they look to stall. Foster's going to go shoot free throws because he is fouled out here in front, as you saw. Foul is on Crawfordsville's Fuller. It's his third. No foul troubles. We've had so few fouls called in the game. Foster looking for his first points and gets it. He is in the scoreboard now. 54-43. Second free throw, a little hard, no good. But Sisson comes up with the offensive rebound. And a whistle as Burris just commits a reach foul just simply to stop the clock with 48.0 on the big wall clock here to our right. And on to our left also. Widmer at the line, 11 points on the game. 3, Bison in double figures. Free throw too hard. Sadian checks out. Coach Pierce kind of throwing the white flag up here a little bit. This is for Crawfordsville. Second free throw is no good. And another offensive rebound and another foul. Number 20 is Nolan Watt. Coming in from some JV action. Foul is Burris. Nope, check that. That's on Patton. It's Patton's first. Past the line of demarcation, BC continues to shoot free throws, and they continue to miss. They missed a handful here in this fourth quarter. This is Winchester. Also in the ball game is 32, I believe that's Ronco Maddox for Crawfordsville. 3 up, no good for the Athenians. That's Fuller. Rebound Sisson, excuse me. And we're going to run the clock out pretty soon here. Under 30 seconds to go. BC, just a lob. Sisson, double teamed, has the ball taken away. Patton, just no call down there. Here's a 3 for Patton. Good. Patton's got 8. It's a long time coming. 46 for Crawfordsville. We're down under 10 seconds to go. BC can run the clock out here, and they will, as you see the clock moving down. 3, 2, 1, and our final. It's 55-46. So if you look at moral victories, there was one for Crawfordsville. They lost to BC by 20 last year. They lose by 9 tonight with a much more experienced crew. So Crawfordsville falls to 1-1 on the season, while Benton Central moves to 2-0. The Athenians back in action next Friday night in Sagamore Conference play for the first time, as they will travel to Lebanon as part of a girl-boy doubleheader. Benton Central back in action next on the 28th, when they will have a home game against West Lafayette. So we're just going to wait and see. We have a couple. We'll wait and see. We got a young man with our blue shirt. There he is. We're going to wait a minute. We'll get some final stats here. And leading scorers tonight for Benton Central, Winchester finishes with 22. It's Michael Winchester, the transfer from Seeger, finishes with 22. Hunter Sisson has 14. And Joe Widmer finishes with 11. 3 guys in double figures. Crawfordsville led in scoring tonight by Ethan McLemore, finishes with 18 after only 2 points against Greencastle. A good offensive night for him. Drake Burris finishes with 13. 8 points for Caden Patton. 3 for Mason McCarty, 2 free throws for Tyson Fuller, and a field goal by Sadian. Thank you very much, young man. We'll look at some final stats here before we sign off for Benton Central tonight. They finished the ball game 46% from the field, 11 out of 24. I'm sorry, that's first half. For the game, they are 18 of 38 from the field. So that 47%, that's where they stayed for just about the entire game. They did shoot exactly 50% from the field in the second half. 3-pointers. BC took only 22 after shooting 37 on Tuesday night against Frontier, but they made 9 for 41%. They were 10 of 15. I think they missed 4 of their last 5 free throws, but 10 of 15 for 67%, as we had mentioned. Crawfordsville can shoot only 38% on the home floor tonight, 47% in the first half as they stay close, but 31% in the second half, 8 out of 26 shooting for the Athenians in the second half to finish 38% overall. 7 out of 25 shooting long tonight, 28%, so Crawfordsville just could not find the range, either close, medium, or long, and they finish only 5 of 7 as they shoot only 3 free throws in the second half, making only 1, finishing there, as we said, 5 out of 7. Rebounds tonight, 24 for BC. The Athenians finished with a total of 20. Leading rebounder for Crawfordsville is Sadian with 4. Tyson Fuller has 4 as well. 3 for McLemore. 10 points, a double-double tonight for Michael Winchester, 21 points and 10 rebounds. Sisson finishes with 8. 3 of those were offensive rebounds. Great night tonight for both of those big guys for Benton Central. We talked about turnovers during the course of the game. BC finishes with 9 turnovers, but Crawfordsville finishes with only 7. But the 38% shooting makes a gigantic difference in the outcome of this contest. Assists tonight, BC had 15 assists on 18 made field goals, so certainly a great night for their passers. Crawfordsville finishes with 10 assists on 17 field goals. So again, it's just a good night for BC. They win their second game of the season, 2-0 overall, with a 9-point 55-46 win over Crawfordsville. I want to thank everybody for listening tonight, watching tonight on YouTube. We'll invite you again, as we said, tune in anytime there's a home game. Just check the Crawfordsville Athletic website for the schedule. All home games will be broadcast on this YouTube channel. So for our entire crew, for everybody here, for the Crawfordsville staff, everybody, we want to say thanks to everybody. Have a happy Thanksgiving weekend, and we will talk again another time down the road. Again, our final score, 55-46. Benton Central 2-0 on the year as Crawfordsville falls to 1-1. Good night, everybody.